Is it hard to get the job? So what happens if you fall ill during a stopover? Do cabin crew have to self-isolate if a country is on the list? Do you get to spend much time with your family? Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I hope you're all okay. For those of you that come from my TikTok, you will know that I am currently in Hong Kong. And I know I do normally do a vlog style video when I've been going away recently, but I am actually confined to my room in Hong Kong, even though I've had 3 COVID tests. 3. I still can't leave my hotel room until pick up tomorrow evening. So I thought I would put out there on TikTok, as I do get a lot of frequently asked questions about my job. So I thought I would do an up-to-date Q&A for you guys, all in one video, and answer your most frequently asked questions about my job as cabin crew. So if you do enjoy the video, please leave a like and also subscribe to my channel, as I know a large majority of you who watch my videos aren't subscribed. So before we go ahead, press that subscribe button. So let's get started. Before I do, ignore the fact that I look like total utter right now. It is currently 5:30 in the morning here in Hong Kong, being 10:30 at home. So I wouldn't normally go to sleep till like 1 o'clock in the morning at home. So I'm going to be vibing here for another few hours before I get some sleep. So I thought I would record my video now rather than in the morning. So I'm kind of makeshifting some light here with my work phone. So there's literally nothing I can do about how I look now, and I'm really self-conscious about it. Keep your comments to yourself, thanks. So I have screenshotted a load of questions from TikTok that you guys have sent to me, both on the video that I did put out specifically for this video, as well as other videos. So thank you for everyone who is included in this video, as well as everyone else who has asked me questions over on my TikTok and taking an interest in my job. I have done a Q&A quite some time ago, but it is a few months old now, so I thought now I've got a few more followers on my socials that I would do an up-to-date one. So the first question is, where is your favourite place you have been to so far? So my all-time favourite place is San Diego in California. The reason I like it is because you've got the city life. It's like not a huge city, it's like a relatively medium-sized city, but it's so chilled. You've got beaches, shopping. It's like a 2-hour train journey, I think, maybe less, up to LA. So you have so much within the vicinity of San Diego, as well as San Diego itself is great. So it's just a really cool place. I haven't really had the chance to like venture out that much really outside of North America. I've had the odd trip like Buenos Aires this trip, but apart from that, I only really know America and Europe. So yeah, my all-time favourite is San Diego. What is my favourite aircraft? So my favourite aircraft used to be the 747. As a lot of you know, I'm not going to bore you guys again with it, but she has now been retired, and you guys know my feelings about that. So since then, I've actually had the opportunity to work a lot more on the 787, which is a more fuel-efficient long-haul aircraft. Not the biggest long-haul aircraft either, which makes it a lot nicer. And because it's so techy and cool, it is my new favourite aircraft to fly on. So that is my new favourite. So this question is a bit more of a specific question to the person who has asked this one. But Emily sent me a comment saying, "Hi, so I'm thinking of changing college so I can go and do a travel agency course. But the one thing is I'm a tad scared of flying, but not sure if this makes sense." It does, thank you for your question. But the main thing she's asking is I worry about it being underpaying. So in terms of the first part about changing college to do a travel course, especially now during coronavirus, I would definitely suggest making the most out of your education if you're not too sure what you want to do job-wise. The only thing is you don't actually need a travel course to get into cabin crew. So it's not vital, but it's good to get an insight into the industry and what it's like. As I said, if you don't know what to do temporarily, you can do that just to get another qualification for your CV. The second part is in terms of the paying or being underpaid. Being cabin crew is actually quite a good paying job, I guess, especially for like me. I'm early 20s, so for our age group it's actually a really well paying job. Obviously it is subject to change, it varies, you're not getting paid the same every month, so it does change all the time, especially now during coronavirus. It's very like hit and miss, because when we get our schedules it's not set in stone for the whole month. Things change all the time, which means our pay changes. So as long as you're happy with that, then I say go for being cabin crew. It's not an underpaying job at all. I can't really comment on the I guess living side of it and how far the money goes in terms of having your own place, because I still live with my mum, but it's doable if you want to save for a house while you're living with your parents still. That is definitely doable. Is it hard to get the job? This is a bit of a, personal question, because it totally depends really on the person. Because when I went for my interview, I'm not going to say that I prepared myself that much. I looked into the airline I was applying for, the industry a little bit, but I wouldn't say I prepared massively for it. And in terms of actually getting the job, the one thing I can say is just be yourself in the interview and don't overdo it, because I noticed a lot of people who did overdo it didn't get the job. So a lot of people do return interview for interview constantly until they get it, because they realise over time they don't actually need to put so much into it. They just got to be themselves and let their personality shine. So it is totally, I guess, dependent on the person, and the airline you're applying for will know instantly if you have the kind of personality that will click with other crew. So the only thing I will say at the moment is with coronavirus, obviously, a lot of airlines aren't hiring at the moment, but when airlines do hire, they hire quite a bit because the turnover for crew is massive. So overall, it's not hard to get the job. All I would say is be yourself, don't overdo it. Do your research into the airline you're applying for and into the industry. A flight attendant has been one of my interests as a job, but do you get to spend much time with your family? I do find that I actually get to spend quite a bit of time with my family, but I guess more so on my normal schedule before coronavirus. You do get a good amount of minimum days off a month. Our minimum days off is 9 days off a month, so we have to have that many days off a month regardless. As well as you do sometimes have more as well as you get annual leave, so you do actually have a fair amount of time at home, sometimes even more than like a 9 to 5 office job. So yeah, it's definitely easy to have a good work-life balance. I guess the only thing a lot of crew will relate to at the moment with the coronavirus situation is that we are working quite a lot, which is like something I didn't expect to come to when I came back to work. I thought it wasn't going to be as busy as it was, but we've got to keep flights going, and I'm more than happy to do that. So yeah, I think to keep our industry going, I'm happy to sacrifice, time at home at the moment. But on a normal flying schedule, having a work-life balance is very easy, and you do get to see your family and friends a lot. So this is a question I got quite a few times on my home standby TikTok, and that was, do you get paid for home standby or standby in general? So you don't get paid for home standby. You only get paid on home standby, I guess, if you're called. So when you're called, they'll allocate a duty on your roster, and then you'll start being paid from when you check in for that duty. And then when you're called, you have to have a minimum of 2 hours until report time, to give you time to get to the airport, I guess. So they do advise you to either live within 2 hours of the airport or be within 2 hours of the airport. I know a lot of people who live far away from the airport at my airline do travel down to like service stations and stuff. So yeah, in terms of airport standby, you do get paid, you just get paid your hourly rate. And at my airline, airport standby is normally 6 hours. Home standby can be up to 8 hours. So yeah. Do cabin crew have to self-isolate if a country is on the list? Simple answer, no, we are exempt. If it was the case that we had to self-isolate, there wouldn't be any crew left to operate any flights, basically. So what happens if you fall ill during a stopover? So all you need to do is basically let your airline know that you're not feeling good, let your manager know on that flight that you're not feeling good, and they'll be able to arrange for you to have a doctor come and see you, or you go to the hospital, depending on what your needs are. So they'll make sure you are looked after when you're away. and then they're basically position, or I think it's also called Deadhead. I think Deadhead in America. I'm not too sure on other airlines. I don't know. But yeah, position or deadhead you back to your base when you're feeling a little bit better. So yeah, it's fine. It's, you know, it happens all the time. So it's a very easy process and nothing to be worried about. How do you deal with jet lag? I flew to LA last year and felt like death for 3 days. So in terms of jet lag, you do cover this in training. It depends on how long you are in that country for. So they say the number of hours, say forward or behind you're traveling to. So for instance, I'm in Hong Kong now, which is currently 7 hours ahead of the UK. So it would take me 7 days to adjust to the Hong Kong time zone. So, and then another example of that is, say, going backwards, if I'm going to LA in this instance, that's 8 hours behind. So it would take me 8 days to adjust, if that makes sense. So that's what they say roughly in terms of jet lag. So basically, we're not in the countries we fly to long enough to suffer with jet lag. We suffer with lack of sleep. That's the difference. So obviously when we're working night flights, we get a fraction of the sleep we normally would when we're having, I guess, a normal night's sleep. So yeah, basically, in terms of how I deal with it, I sleep as much as I can in the flight. I stay hydrated during the flight. I try and eat well. When I get home, I sleep when my body tells me to sleep, but I also still try and stay within my normal routine as much as possible. So if I feel like I need a nap, I'll only have a quick power nap, wake up and then go to sleep at my normal bedtime. So that's how I deal with it. So when you land at your destination, can you do what you want until your return flight and still get paid? So pretty much the answer to this is yes. As soon as you land in your destination, you're in your hotel room, your time is free to do whatever you want until your report time for your flight home, as long as you're safe and you are fully fit to report for the flight home, and you are still paid for that time. Does it ever feel weird knowing you've been to a different country and back in a day? Yeah, well, in terms of short haul, when you get on that plane, because you don't really see much if you're not doing a night stop, it doesn't really feel like you're going to a different country because you just stay on that plane. Whereas if you are doing a night stop, it is crazy. Like, I do think to myself sometimes, like, what the hell is my job? Like, I'm literally being paid to sleep right now to operate a flight home for 12 hours. Like, it's just crazy. And yeah, I'm very lucky and I appreciate my job so much, especially after everything we have been through the last 6 months. Someone said, do you have to do any course? I think what they mean is like, what qualifications do you need? So as I mentioned earlier, you don't specifically need to have like a travel and tourism or cabin crew course, but the essentials that you do need are maths and English GCSE. Those are your essentials. So just make sure you have those. Obviously, if you're going for an interview, make sure you have those certificates for those, because a lot of airlines do ask you to prove that you've got those GCSEs. You can't just have it on your CV. That's pretty much all you need to go into a cabin crew interview. And obviously each airline will give you different other requirements that you may need to go through before you have your interview. Are there any height restrictions? So yes, there are. So that's for things like obviously reaching the overhead lockers. There are specific height requirements for the jump seats. You can't be too tall, otherwise you can't brace properly on the jump seats. The height restrictions for my airline was 5'2" to 6'2", I believe, but I think it may vary per airline, I'm not too sure, but that's like the average height you have to be, minimum and maximum. This is quite an interesting question. This was always my dream job. Would still love to do it? Now my children are all grown up. Are there any age restrictions? I'm 40. So when I had my first day of training, I was very surprised to see like the massive range of ages within my training group. Some people had left like proper, I guess, lifelong jobs, you could say, like nursing. I've worked with people who have left the police force, all sorts of jobs where they've always wanted to do this and it's just always been in the back of their mind, and they've just applied for it, got it, and just started the job 40, 50 plus. So yeah, it's definitely a job that you can do at any age. Obviously you can only do it up to a certain age because of retirement, but yeah, this job pretty much has no age limit. It also makes it quite a nice environment to work in, working with like such a variety of people of all different ages. How long do you lay over before flying back? So this is a question that's quite hard to answer because it's very destination specific. All things taken into account, like how many hours forward or behind you are, how many flights there are a day that your airline does. Yeah, it's very hard to say. So for instance, if I give you a couple of examples from my airline, so LA is a 4-day trip, so you get 48 hours in LA. Same with San Diego. Hong Kong is normally a 5-day trip where you get, I think it's 2 nights here, so just over 48 hours. I think it's like 2 days and a half. But because of the COVID test, that then reduced it down to 4 days. We do a, say Cape Town, that's a 4-day trip, it's 2 night flights there and back. So that's just some examples really. It's really hard to say, it's like a specific how long I'm away for. What brand shoe works for you? I get swollen feet on flights. So the shoe brands I use for my heels are Usaflex, so you can get them on cruise shoes. I'll link them in the description box below for those of you that might find that useful. They do flat shoes, heeled shoes of all different colours that would be uniform standard for a range of airlines. But they're just so comfy. They're padded as well. They're not too high either, the ones I go for, so that helps me in terms of walking through the airport. My flat shoes, I just kind of get whatever's comfy really, because they don't last that long at all. So that was pretty much all of the questions I was asked, I guess on a regular, frequent basis on my TikTok and on my YouTube channel. So I hope that was actually interesting for you guys, like the questions actually coming from you. So yeah, if you do have any more questions, let me know in the comments below. I'll try and answer them, and if not, I'll do like an updated Q&A at some point in the near future as well, if you find these interesting. But yeah, I'll give you a little room tour actually now, just to show you what the room's like I'm staying in. It's actually alright for room confinement, to be honest with you. It's not the biggest room I've stayed in, but it's still really cozy. As you walk in, you've got a wardrobe on my right. To the left, you've got the bathroom, and it's really cool as you've got a glass panel so you can see into the bedroom. But yeah, you've got a sink, some amenity things over there, toilet, and you've got like a big panel here where you've got the bath and also a shower, which is really cool. And I did test out the bath earlier, and I can confirm it's one of the comfiest baths I've ever had, if that makes any sense at all. So I might have another one later before my flight home. So you've got a stand here to put a suitcase on, TV, which I haven't turned on yet because apparently the TV channels in China aren't the best. So yeah, you've got a desk, a huge bed, which is extremely comfy. And yeah, as you can see into the bathroom, and you've got a massive picture on the wall. I'm not too sure what it is. I think it's probably somewhere in Hong Kong. But yeah, let's see if it's actually light outside yet. I'm not too sure. Oh, no. That's pretty much everything I have for this video. I'm going to go back to watching Love Island USA because I'm now hooked on it. And yeah, I think I should probably go get some sleep because I'm going to be so cranky tomorrow. But yeah, trying to stick to UK time is quite difficult. Thank you guys for watching this video, and also thank you for all your support on both TikTok and YouTube. It's just kind of blown up within the last few weeks, and I'm so appreciative. It's actually really overwhelming. So thank you to every one of you who supports me, regularly supports me on both platforms. So thank you. And if you did like this video, please leave a like and subscribe to my channel. Go follow all of my socials if you haven't already. And I shall see you guys in an upcoming video very soon. And yeah, again, sorry I can't do a vlog for this trip. It just wouldn't be interesting. So I'll keep you guys posted when my next trip is, as I don't know what it is yet. And hopefully we can do a vlog for you soon. Bye.